Khan, Shalom, 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 Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua I'm Soldier Kazak with Sons of Zion Houston.
Soldier Kasadia with Sons of Zion Houston.
I'm Brother Al-Haran with Sons of Zion Houston.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Hey, Israel. Welcome to another episode of Faith by Works, where we learn a commandment. All right, every single week we learn a new one. All right, to learn, a little bit by little bit on how to serve the Most High God in deed and in truth. All right, we have to prove our faith of the Most High God, right, with works, right, and that's why we've set this series up. All right, to edify the people in that regard. All right, so this is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shah, giving thanks to Yahweh, the Father by him. Right? So everything that we do is by Yahweh Shah. All right. We glorify the Most High God by way of his Son, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. Everything that we say, all right, everything that we put our hand to do, all right, is to glorify him. Right. So we have to give great reverence unto the Most High God in every way, shape, or form. Man. All right. This is the book of James, chapter 2, and verse 14. What does it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? Right. So it's faith alone, right? Gonna work? Absolutely not. All right. Because we know that faith without works is dead. Right. This is the book of James 2, verse 17. Even so, faith, if it had not works, is dead, being alone. A man may say, Salakia, thou hast faith and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. All right. So the works, okay, keeping the commandments of the Most High God is how we prove that we believe in him, that we fear him, and that we love him. All right. We have to get that understood. Right. So week in and week out, we learn a new commandment. Right. The title of today's lesson is Covetousness. All right, we're going to be highlighting the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 17 this week, right? And it reads, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. That's Exodus 20 and verse 17. All right. So it says right here, anything that your neighbor possess, we're not supposed to covet these things. These people, right? It's very, very important. And this is what we see in our community, right? You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what we have to understand today, all right, and how we will edify ourselves is to not covet the possessions of our neighbor. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, and verse number 3. It says, but fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as become his saints. So if you want to come into this truth, all right, and if you want to grow in this truth, you have to put away covetousness, okay? Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient. So it's not convenient. It's not expedient, all right? It's unnecessary to the highest, all right? We have to put away these things if we want to grow in this truth, if we want to serve the Most High God, all right? If we want to prove our love for him, right? But rather giving of thanks. All right. And that's one thing that we're really going to tap on today. Okay. Is giving thanks and becoming content. All right. Because when you covet a neighbor's possession, when you covet other things in this life, when you covet, right, the heathen's possession and you want to live like the heathen, you're not content. You're not being thankful for what the Most High God has given you. Because what we have to understand is, right, brothers and sisters, is that, hey, the Most High God didn't have to wake us up. He didn't have to clothe you, right? Because you have the actual, you have the actual luxury of going to your closet and choosing from a variety of clothing. When we got brothers and sisters that's living under a bridge right now, and they picking out of clothing donation boxes. Hey, we can open up our refrigerator and look and see what we're going to eat today. We have the luxury of celebrating the new moon tonight and doing a potluck. And that's all of the Lord. What we got to understand is we have a roof over our head. I got internet connection to bring forth this truth, right? My brother right there is drinking some water, right? Just got through eating breakfast. That is something that we overlook time and time again. But we're not being content, right? We're not being content. We got cars parked outside. If you need to go to the store, you can go to the store, right? In all things, it says right here, giving of thanks, but rather giving of thanks, man, right? And today we're gonna talk about covetousness and how we covet other things, and we're never satisfied, right? We want all of the things that we don't have, but we fail to acknowledge the things that we do have. Covetousness is like a bottomless pit. It's a never-ending thing, and we have to purge that spirit out, right? We're gonna tap on that today. So let's get the definition of covetousness, right? According to Merriam-Webster, okay, covetousness is having an inordinate desire for wealth or possessions or for another's possessions. All right, so it says it's an inordinate desire. That means that the Most High God, all right, has orders, and when we coveting these other things, it's out of His order. It's inordinate. It's out of order, right? For an example, he looked at his boss's new car with covetous eyes, right? So you're not acknowledging, right, the safe and reliable means of transportation over here in your parking spot. You're looking at your boss's car and you're like, God damn, that Mercedes look good. Hey, I want a Range Rover. Hey, man, he got the Recon Jeep. He got that thing with the big boy tires, right? Got the speakers in the back, right? Got that thing looking real clean. I want one like that. When you could be catching Metro to work, right? You could be Ubering. You could have no wheels at all. No money to Uber or catch the Metro. Not acknowledging, being content and giving thanks of what you do have, but you're coveting your boss's car. Let's get another definition. It says, the second definition of it on Merriam-Webster says, having a craving for a possession, right? And I think all of us can attest to that, right? We crave for a bigger house with more space. We crave, right, for a newer car. We crave for some newer clothing so we can look nice and look better than what we. And it's nothing wrong. I don't want people to understand that it's something wrong with wanting better for your family in a providing sense, right? That's what you're supposed to do, right? But it says right here in the first definition, it's an inordinate desire, right? And then the second, it's craving a possession. Well, we're gonna tap on to what Christ says. All right, we're gonna tap into some wisdom, and we're gonna get some accounts on how it's unprofitable and how it's harmful to our nation to have a inordinate desire and a unnecessary and a non-expedient, right, way of craving another possession, right? It's very, very important, and this is what we have in our community. We got to purge that out, man. Right? With that, I'm gonna yield there. You got it, brother Casadio.
King, mighty points, mighty points. Like the brother said, we have to understand that we have to be content in this life because we're not promised anything at the end of the day. But one thing about our people is that we always want to, and we even got a term for it, keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, right? We always want to have the latest and greatest, the newest iPhone, the newest car, the newest J's, the newest whatever, right? Women want to always have their hair did, their nails did, just so they can try to stunt on the next sister. Brothers always want to have the freshest fit on just so they can stunt on the next brother. Talking about they don't have this and they don't have that, right? When at the end of the day, we got people of our own stock living under bridges. We can't be happy and content with the fact that at least we got a roof over our head. At least we got an apartment, right? At least we got a little hoopty that we could take to work. At least we got a job that gives us some sort of income to provide for our families, right? And that's been in us ever since the beginning. And the Most High spoke on it, right? Let me get this real quick. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 20, right? It says, for when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat. So after they had gotten all that they need and then some, right? What does it say? Then will they turn unto other gods and serve them and provoke me and break my covenants. So we go off. We start going off once we start getting this abundance, right? Because we're never satisfied. We're always into vanity. We always want more, 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 more. We're never satiated when it comes to, I guess, worldly provisions, right? Verse 21, it says, and it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination, which they go about even now, right? Before I have brought them into the land which I swear, right? So the Most High understood the people he was the people he was dealing with, the people he chose unto himself, right? We are we can have a greediness about ourselves. We're not on the level of the white man, but it's damn close, right? And that greediness, that lack of humble thanksgiving, that lack of contentment is what got us, is what continues to get us destroyed, right? Let's prove that. Let's book of Hosea. Then go to chapter 4. Everybody knows the classic precepts, right? Hosea 4 and 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children, right? We all know that precept, and we always stop there, right? But if we continue on, actually, real quick, hold that, right? It says, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. Why is that important? Jump back real quick. You're going to go to the book of Joshua, chapter 1, and verse number 8, right? It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, right? We know the classic Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Our whole duty is to keep the commandments of the Most High God, right? Why is that important? Well, what is one of the reasons why that's important, right? It says, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So the Most High will be willing to provide everything that we need, right? We just have to follow his commandments, right? Let's get back to Hosea 4 and 6. Like I said, we always stop at verse 6, but we never continue on. Verse 7, it says, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, meaning there should be people and priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings, right? For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase. But they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart, right? So all of that vanity, all of that extra that we want because we're not content with what the Most High has already given us, that leads our hearts astray. That makes us forget the Most High. That makes us forget that, oh, wait, there is a God that's taking care of me right now. That puts it in our own minds that, hey, what's the thing they like to say today? I'm manifesting my reality, right? Like it's the craziest thing. Our people just can't be content with being able to survive on a day to day. And the Lord sees that, and he knew that, and he saw that in us from the beginning. And I can yield right there.
Con, those mighty points, King. Mighty points, right? Brother Brown got some good points. So I'm gonna get the book of Philippians, right? Chapter chapter 4. Brother Paul be cooking, man, but I don't like when Christians use them because they don't know what they talking about. But this is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, and verse number. Let me see when I started. I'm gonna start at
Start at 11.
6. Uh, oh, that's a good point. Good point. I ain't know. I ain't see that. I'm gonna read 11 just because, and then I'm gonna skip down. Right. Uh, yeah. Philippians 4 and verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, there therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound everywhere, and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all. Well, let's skip down real quick. That's true. I'm gonna read that anyway. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthen me. Just to cut a Christian say they can't keep the commandments, right? Notwithstanding, ye have done right. You have done well. Done that ye did communicate with my affliction. Now ye Philippians know also that in the beginning of the gospel, when I departed from Macedonia, no church communicated with me as concerning giving and receiving, but ye only. For even in Thessalonica, right, you sent once and again unto my necessity, right? So the Philippians were taking care of Paul, making sure he had everything he needed, giving and receiving, right? Not because I desire a gift, but I desire fruit that may abound to your account. But I have all and abound, I am full, having and received Ephroditus, the things which were sent from you, an odor of a sweet smell, a sacrifice acceptable, well pleasing to God. But my God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Yahushua, right? Now unto God and our Father be glory forever and ever. Amen, right? And basically what Paul is telling them, like, hey, yeah, y'all looked out for me, through the spirit and the power of the Most High God. Y'all took care of me. Y'all made sure that I had things that I needed, giving and receiving. But he's letting it be known, hey, when I was hungry, I was good. I learned how to do both. I learned how to be full. I learned how to be hungry. But the Most High God will provide everything in which we need. We got to focus on that, man. It's looking at what other people got and what you don't got. Or other people got something that might be better than yours, or you perceive it to be better than yours, but you don't know what that person is going through, nor what that person had to go through to get it. And if it's their blessing, it's their blessing. What they got to do with you? What the Lord has for you, so you can't a man take it from you, right? You need to focus on the things that the Most High God has commanded you to do and commanded you to and has blessed you with, and take care of that to the best of your ability, right? Let me get the book of Luke, right? I'm gonna go to Luke chapter 9. Yeah, Luke chapter 9, verse 3. And he said unto them, take nothing for your journey, neither staffs, nor scrip, neither bread, neither money, neither have two coats apiece. And whatsoever house ye enter into, there abide, and thence depart. Right? So when the Lord sent the disciples on their journey, he told them, don't take nothing with you. Go empty handed, right? Now let's skip to Luke chapter 22, right? Luke 22 and verse 35. And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said, nothing. Right? So when they went out into the world, which they did more than one, right? They did do their travels throughout Christ's ministry. They kind of, Christ had sent them somewhere, but they didn't lack anything. The Most High God and the Spirit of Christ provided from them everything that they needed, right? Everything that they needed was provided. They didn't lack anything, right? Let me get another one. Book of First Peter. Bro, people gotta focus, man. right? Get First Peter chapter 5. The book of First Peter chapter 5. And I'm starting at verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Now, that's one thing, man. You know, you're looking at the things of others. Humble yourself. What makes you think that you deserve anything from the Most High God in the first place? That's number one. You don't deserve nothing. We don't deserve nothing. We don't deserve life. We don't deserve anything in this world that the Most High God has given us already. And we sure don't deserve something that he gave somebody else just because we want it, right? Uh, Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God that he might exalt you in due time. Wait on your time, right? Casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you, right? So all the things that you need to make sure that you're walking in the correct ways of the Lord, keeping the commandments of the Most High God, having faith, getting built up, and the Most High God cares for you. He will make sure you got the things you need, right? He might even give you some of the things you desire. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, the Most High God is going to bless your hand, right? Let me get it one more, right? The book of Psalms, chapter 37, and verse number 25. Yeah. Let them not say in their hearts, nah, that ain't it. Slocky. I'm in chapter 35. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 25. Slocky. I have been young and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread, right? So King David is saying, hey man, I've been young and now I'm an old man, and I have not seen the righteous man forsaken to the point where the Most High God is not taking care of them, right? He say, I haven't even seen their seed, their children, begging for bread, right? So if you do what you're supposed to do, man, the Most High God will provide for you. You shouldn't have to look on the things of others, far as looking at what they got, like, man, I need that. Just focus on serving the Most High God the correct way, right? And with that, I you.
Brother was bringing it out mighty through the spirit. Great, phenomenal points, King. Right, so I'm gonna go to Christ as well. Right, we're gonna stay in the book of Luke. Right, it's the book of Luke. All right, chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 13, and it reads, "And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me." Right? So this is one in the crowd, right? Yahweh Shai is teaching, and one yells out to Yahweh Shai, "Hey, speak unto my brother." Okay. He needs to divide the inheritance that we have. We fighting, we bickering over some inheritance, right? Some materialistic things, right? Possessions. Reading on, and it says, "And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? Who made me the referee over the situation that you have with your brother?" Right? And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. Right? So it's saying, look, life is not about everything that you have. And when we actually have this covetous spirit on us, this is how we think. This is what's on us. This is how our mind is working. Right? We are putting too much weight. We're investing too much time and energy into possessions, right? Precept. It's the book of Tobit, chapter 4, right? And verse number 7. And it says, Give alms of thy substance. And when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor. And the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. Right? So when you have a covetous spirit, we can't be like forefather Tobit, right? We can't give alms, right? This is one righteous deed, right? That covetousness falls as an obstacle of, right? So reading on back in that Luke, right? It says, And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. Right? So, Yahweh Shai is speaking in a parable. He's saying, all right, look, I know a man that had a lot of things. And, he was running out of space to possess these things. Right? So instead of giving in abundance, like forefather Tobit, what happens? All right, he says, look, I'm gonna tear down my barns and I'm gonna make space for this possessions. Right? Isn't this how we think? Ain't this how we move when we have a covetous spirit? Like, man, I got all these cars parked out front. Now, instead of letting the brother who doesn't have means of transportation borrow one of these cars, what do? You say, nah, I'm gonna get a 3-car garage built. Nah, I'm gonna get a bigger house where I got a bigger driveway where I could park all these cars. That's a covetous spirit, right? That's the wrong spirit to move in. And Christ is giving us this parable, right? Reading on, and it says what? And I will say to my soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. It's like, man, if anything go down, I'm gonna be ready. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Be merry, right? Hey, we good. We got all the cars in the world, right? Anywhere you can go. And it's a fool, right? Yahweh Shai says you are a fool. Why? Because you only drive one car at once. Can't drive 3 cars at once, right? That's why we brought out that precept in Tobit, right? Because forefather Tobit knew. He knew, hey, look, it's wise to give alms, right? Don't be clutching all your possessions, trying to save them for yourself, right? And seek that comfort in having all these possessions. Give. Don't be afraid to give abundantly, right? We get another precept, right? This is the book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24, right? And it reads, so man can serve 2 masters. No man can serve 2 masters, right? For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon, right? So we know when we look up the definition of mammon, it's talking about wealth. It's talking about the possessions of money, right? You cannot serve the Most High God, all right? You cannot prove your faith by works, okay? In serving wealth, and serving possessions, being heavily invested in possessions, right? That's what we got to understand, right? You can't serve both. You have to choose the Most High God over these things and understand the points that Aharon was bringing out on how he provides for everything, okay? He's the reason you have all these cars. He's the reason why you have everything that you have, all right? So we're going to go back to Luke, right? Picking back up. Luke chapter 12, okay? But Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? Right? So if you die today, okay, you can't take it with you. That's foolish to think like that. It's foolish to heavily be invested, right, in your time and energy into these possessions that you have. Right? Reading on, it says, Salakia. Lost my spot. Salakia. Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? Right? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Yahweh. Right? So, hey, you got to understand, right, that, you can't take these things with you, and it's foolish to, serve these possessions, right, and value these possessions over the God that actually has provided it for you, right? Last precept, and I'm gonna pass. It's the book of Matthew 6. We're gonna move up to 19, right? Verse 19. It says, "Lay up not for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal." So don't be heavily invested, all right, into the things of this world, where thieves can break through and steal it. These are possessions that a thief can take, right? It says, but lay up yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. Hey, a thief cannot steal your faith in the Most High God. A thief cannot change the fact that you're an Israelite and you keep the commandments. Okay, that's one thing that they can't steal. And the Most High God says to be invested in how to get your the kingdom of the Most High God, right? Make your election sure. Secure your own salvation. That's what we have to be heavily invested in, right? Reading on, it says what? There will your heart be also. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So is your heart in those cars parked outside? Is your heart in the house that you go home to every day, right? Or is your heart with the Most High God? You have to ask yourself that, right? Rhetorically, right? Ask yourself that, right? I yield there. You got it, King.
Mighty points, King. You know what? I'm gonna let me back off where brothers was already at. All right, let's get back into the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and I'm gonna get verse number 8. It says, "Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your," and the them is talking about actually jump back to 7, Salakia. "But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking." Right. So the heathens always keep bringing out the same old things. Hail Mary, this, whatever. I want this, I want that. Your breakthrough coming through, yada, yada, yada. What we got to understand is Christianity, which is one of the main idols that our people are so heavy into, teaches us to be covetous. It teaches us what your breakthrough is coming through, that you want that new Benz. All you got to do is pray real hard and give your tithes, and that new Benz is going to be yours, right? That new crib is going to be yours, right? Whatever. Christianity teaches our people to be covetous. Christianity was created by the heathen, and we have to understand this, right? Verse 8, it continues. It says, "Be not ye therefore like unto them," these heathens, these Christians, right? "For your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him," right? The Most High is already ready and willing to take care of your every single need. He know you need food. He know you need water. He know you need shelter, clothes, right? Before you even go to him, he knows that you need these things, right? I'm going to jump down to verse number 25. It says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?" At the end of the day, what is our whole duty? Again, we got to keep going back to Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Our whole duty is to keep the commandments of the Most High God. It's to fear God and keep his commandments. That is our whole duty. All of that other stuff, not only is it vanity, but the Most High already knows that we need food to live. Right? He created us. That's like that's like taking your car to the dealership and complaining that your gas tank is on E. It makes no sense. Or complaining that it needs new oil, or complaining that it needs new brakes or a tire rotation, this, that, and the third. They understand these things already. They created the car. There's no point in going to the Most High and telling them, hey, I need this, that, and the third, when he already knows these things. So how much more is it a wicked thing that after he provides all these things, you can't be content with it? You want to go to him and say, I need more, I need better, I need the latest and the greatest. That's wicked, right? Let's get an account on that. Because again, like I said earlier, the Most High saw that in us from the beginning, right? Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 16. We can start at verse number 1, just so we can set the stage of what's happening right now, right? It says, "And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Zin. which is between Elam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. Right? So this is after the Most High had delivered us from Egypt, and now he's leading us to our promised land. Right? Verse 2, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Right? Murmured just means complain. They sat there and complained. They female dogged and moaned the whole time. Right? And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died in the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Right? Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the sixth day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Obviously, we understand, because after the sixth day is what? The seventh day, the Sabbath day. We're not supposed to do any work. So the Most High is going to double up our gatherings on that sixth day so that we don't have to gather on the seventh day, right? Again, justice, judgment, righteous, right? Verse 6, and Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at even, then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Most High, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Most High. And what are we that ye murmur against us? And Moses said, this shall be when the Most High shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahweh, right? So, okay, the Most High heard all of their complaining against him, right? You brought us out of the land of Egypt, and we in this wilderness now. Are we just gonna die of hunger, right? You know, the Most High said, you know what? Okay, check this out. I'm gonna rain food from the sky, literally, so that you may be fed. Again, what did Hamashiach say in Matthew chapter 6? Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him, right? So the Most High already had a plan in place, right? Let's jump to Exodus 16 and verse 35. Actually, so the bread that he rained from heaven was called manna. So verse 35, it says, and the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came into the borders of the land of Canaan, right? Which is our promised land. So the Most High was good on his promise, and he rained down that manna, that bread from heaven, so the children of Israel can be sustained, right? Their need for food is already being met. How did our people respond to that after a while? Because at first it was cool, right? Getting free food, falling out the sky. I remember that book. This is a little sidebar. One of my favorite books growing up was a little silly ass book called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Bro, they had pancakes raining out the sky already with syrup and butter and whatnot. And it's like, what? Bro, that's gotta be. Hey, bro, I'm showing my age. It is what it is. But they made a cartoon adaptation that is during your time, right? It was a movie. It is what it is. But like that sound like a good thing to me. A food just freely raining down from the sky. You know how much food costs today? But our people can never be satisfied, right? Let's jump to the book of Numbers, chapter 11. Start at verse number 4. Right? It says, and the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? Right? Flesh is different than that bread, that manna that the Most High was raining down, right? They wanted something more, right? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, and the cucumbers and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. They literally told the Most High, what you provide for us ain't good enough. And the manna was a coriander. The manna was as coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it and ground it in mills or beat it in a mortar and baked it in pans and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Right? So it's falling freely. They're able to gather as much as they can gather. Right? And they're able to make a whole dish out of it. But at the end of the day, it still wasn't good enough for them. Let's jump down to 18, right? And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourself against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. Because they were complaining they want flesh because they miss Babylon, Egypt, America so much, right? Even though they were getting their backs beat in and day out. Even though American cops was able to shoot you dead in the streets and get away with it. Even though there was just a story came out of Manville, Texas, right? Which is a few minutes away from where I am currently, right? Two so-called Jakes, two so-called African American brothers were falsely accused of raping a so-called white woman. They lost everything. Come to find out, the whole interaction was on camera. She lied. We have to deal with these things every single day. We have to go to work. We have to pay Uncle Sam before we can pay our bills, before we can feed our children, right? Our people are right here wishing that they were back in those type of conditions rather than be free from that and get free food raining from the sky. I can't harp on that enough. This is how, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not inconsiderate, but this is how ungrateful our people are. Our people are continually, right? Verse 18, and say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of the Most High, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Most High will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days. So you can tell the Most High fed up. He fed up. It's like, okay, you want flesh? Check this out. Verse 20. But even a whole month until it come out of your at your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised the Most High, which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? Right? People can't have, we have a people that can't be provided for and can't be content with the simple things, right? Real quick, I'm going to jump to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 15. And I thank my brother Aharon for this because he taught me this precept, right? It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat, and Jeshurun is just those children of our people that were freed from Egypt, right? But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, thou art waxing fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. This is literally what's happening right now. You got freed from oppression, and while you're headed to your promised land, you got free food. I can't harp on that enough. You got free food raining from the sky, and you still not satisfied, right? Let's get back to the book of Numbers, right? Chapter 11. We're gonna go down to verse number 31, because Most High, he said it. You like, you okay, you want meat? I'm gonna give you so much that it's gonna start coming out your nose, and you're gonna be sick of it, right? Book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 31. And there went forth a wind from the Most High, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side. round about the camp, and as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. So he started dropping a bunch of meat, right? And the people stood up all that day and all that night and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Most High was kindled against this people, right? Because they looking at all this meat, even though the Most High already said that we're gonna be sick of this thing. It's gonna start coming out our nose, right? Even though, even though you probably got some wise counsel, that Benz, it looks good, but maintenance is gonna be a mother whatever, right? Oil change is gonna be a pain in the butt, right? You still want it that bad, right? You about to go broke just to drive this one car. This is the mindset of our people. In order to keep up with the Jones, we are willing to kill ourselves for that crap. Let's keep reading, right? Verse 33. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, it was chewed. The wrath of the Most High was kindled against the people, and the Most High smote the people with a very great plague. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Hatava, because there they buried the people that lusted, right? So all those people that weren't satisfied with the free food that was coming from heaven, that as soon as the Most High dropped them quails that he said they was gonna eat until they basically died from it, that's literally what happened to them. They got their flesh, and that flesh killed them right then and there. Like I say, we have to be content with the things that we have, because as the brothers brought out earlier, looking at what the next man has, you don't know what they had to go through or what they had to do in order to get that. So why not just be happy with what you have? Real quick, let me get this in the book of Sirach, chapter 29, and verse 21. It says, the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame, right? The Most High provided all of that already, right? They were in the wilderness. They got the Most High gave them water. They gave them bread. He rained it down from the sky. They had clothes, right? They dwelt in tents or booths, right? That's where we get our Feast of Tabernacles, right? They had all of these things. Verse 2, better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house, right? Be it little or much, hold thee contented that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house. For where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth, right? So understand that as long as you have the simple things, the chief things, right, that you can live off of, you are already a success. You are already prospering, right? Thinking that you can have better, you can easily be somebody that's living life as a vagabond, somebody that's having to couch hop, so to speak, somebody that's having to live under a bridge in a cardboard box. We have to start being content, Israel. We have to start being grateful, showing our gratefulness to the Most High God. All of this, your breakthrough coming nonsense is BS, and we got to get out of that. With that, I yield.
Con, man, I had to kind of move a couple things around because this brother Kasadi be stealing precepts and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the spirit of the Most High God, But let me bring this one out. The book of Second Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 5. One of my favorite precepts. It says, "Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shah Christ, Hamashiach, is in you, except you be reprobates," right? But I trust that you should know that we are not reprobates, right? Now I pray to God that you do no evil, Not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates, right? For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, right? And you got to sit back and examine yourself. Ask yourself, what kind of spirit are you moving in? How's your spirit? What you got going on the inside of you. Is this the correct spirit that I'm moving in? Is this a covetous eye that I have? Right? Well, you gotta ask yourself. You know yourself better than any other body on this earth, man. Right? Let me get the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9. Uh, Start at 7. I always like to start up, right? It says, pride is hateful before God and man, and by both do it one commit iniquity. So that's the number one thing you gotta understand. To be covetous is still a form of pride, right? Hey, why do you think you deserve anything? That's number one. And why is your heart so fixated on what another man got? You looking at his woman, yeah, all right, she got that fatty. Yeah, I need that. Nah, that's pride. That's off. Your spirit is off, brother. It's just what it is. You looking at his rims. Look at this nigga. He got it. How he rolling a 22? You know what I'm saying? And I got these tens on. You got that spirit like Day Day on next Friday. Yeah, them 10. Nah, them ain't no 20. But I keep them clean though. You got that spirit, man. That's off, man. You need to be happy with what you have and what the Most High God has blessed you with, right? That's pride. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And riches gotten by deceit will happen if you got an envious and covetous spirit. The things that you do obtain from that spirit, it's not going to be of the Lord, man. It's gonna cause you to do something wicked and go off. You're gonna be then got it from the left hand side. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. That's saying a covetous man to cast away his bowels. Y'all know what they're saying, man. Like you'll give up, you'll be at the Diddy parties. You know what I'm saying? If you're a covetous man. That's what it's saying, man. Because while he lived, he casted away his bowels. Right? They will do whatever, whatever they say Dr. Dre was doing to people, whatever Diddy was doing, whatever they doing, and they letting Amalek the small hats do to them for the bad, a covetous man will do that, man. Right? Verse 10, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that had it shall pour out abomination thereof. The Lord brought up one on them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Right? So it all starts with pride, man. Don't think yourself to be higher than you are. You deserve nothing, right? Let me get Sirach chapter 14 and verse 8. And it says, the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Right? A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering, right? Remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not showed unto thee, right? You don't know when you're going to die, right? Uh, do good unto thy friend before thou die, and according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him, right? And you don't know when you're going to die. You shouldn't be coveting. You should be worried about giving to others, right? Kind of dive into that just a little bit. The book of Acts, go chapter 4, right? The book of Acts, chapter 4, and start at verse 32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common, and with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Yahushua, and great grace was upon them all. So, hey, look, great grace was upon all those that gave to the apostles. Let that sink in. To the men that were doing the work of the Lord. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them and brought the prices of the things that were sold and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. Right? So just think about that. A community of men and women and children that are serving the Most High God and that are bringing everything, all their riches and their wealth, and laying it at the apostles' feet and spreading it out so all of the people who serve the Most High God, right, can have what they need and they not lack any bread. That's a mighty work, right? Now, verse 5, it's always some wicked of our people, right? I mean, chapter 5, verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, I think I said her name right, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, so she knew what her husband was doing, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. So they only brought part of the wealth that they got from this instead of bringing the whole thing, right? They still was holding back their bread, their money, when they know it's people in need, to help so it won't be people in need. You know what I'm saying? Uh but Peter and Ananias, why have Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? While it remained, was it not thine own? Question mark, right? That's a question, right? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came upon all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. Hey, so that covetous spirit he had, right? Worried about his money. Hey, the Lord took his spirit away, man. At verse 7, and it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yeah, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, carrying her forth, buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the church and upon as many as heard these things. This husband and wife was made an example, man, if you ask me, of the spirit not to have, to give unto the poor and the needy of your people, right? Let me get this in Philippians. I think I read Philippians 4, right? I ain't read.
Uh, 4 and 11 through 12.
All right.
And you
What?
got 13. You got 13 too.
I got 13. Oh, yeah, I think I went on down, huh? Yeah. I went on down. My bad. Let me get this Philippians chapter 2, right? The book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. Uh yeah. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind, right? Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others, right? That's what we should be looking at. Instead of having an envious and covetous mindset and spirit, we should be looking on the things of other people, right? Let me get Galatians. It's saying the same thing, man. 6 and verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceived himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden, right? We got to think about these things, man, right? Let me see. I want this precept. I want this precept real quick. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 3. My son, sow not upon the furrows of unrighteousness, and thou shalt not reap them sevenfold. Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. Justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. Right? And just going into it, you shouldn't be trying to lift yourself up, especially not with vanity. You could cover so many things: power, glory, money, riches, women, cars, clothes. All of it is vanity, man. Every last bit of it is vanity, right? Couple more. Book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 21. Because these are the things we should be worried about instead of coveting. Uh, and Yahweh said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. That's the things which we should be doing, right? We should be worried about following the Most High God, following Christ, doing the right thing, um, keeping our eyes single and focused. Did you touch on your eyes single? Kasadi? Could have sworn you did. Uh, well, I'm gonna just skip that, and I'm gonna just get one more precept. Right, the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, right? And covetousness, which is
Concupiscence.
Concupiscence.
y'all got it, y'all got it. It was a tongue twister, man, tongue twister. And covetousness, which is idolatry. Covetousness is idolatry, man. Right? You cannot be covetous, man. You worried about all these other things instead of focusing on the Most High God, right? You're gonna die. Because now these things have become your idols and your goals. Your eyes not single, it's not focused. You're not focused on your treasures in heaven, you focused on the things of the earth. Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience, and the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, right? And all these things lead up to, they come from a prideful and a covetous spirit, right? Uh, with that, I you.
Hey man, the spirit of the Lord is beautiful, man. Most definitely. Most definitely, man. I guess, Casadia steals this brother's precepts and then he steals mine. But hey, we
Hey, he
own
stole
none of
one. He stole one of mine too, King. We talked about it.
it.
You knew I wanted that Cyrac 14.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. I was gonna get Sirach 10 and 9. I was gonna go to Matthew 19 and 21. Hey, it's beautiful though. That's the spirit of the Most High God, man. All praise to the Most High. Right. I'm gonna get one precept and then we're gonna get an account, right? So this is the book of First Timothy, chapter 6. And I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain, right? Not the possessions, all right, and everything of this world, the riches of this world, but contentment, being thankful, right, is the great gain of the Most High God, right? For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out, right? So hey, that's that. That goes hand in hand with that Sirach 10 and verse 9, right? Why is earth and ashes proud? Right? Why are you heavily invested into the things of this world? The world is going to, right? The kingdom of Esau is going to fall. So why are you heavily invested into the things that Esau has? Right? The spirit of Esau, right, is that covetousness, that wanting the new thing, right? The technology, right? The shiny objects and all of these things. That's what the heathen loves, man. Right? Our people, what matters to us, what our heritage is, what the spirit of the Most High God is, hey, is serving Him in deed and in truth, right? That order, right? That's our treasure, right? Reading on, it says, and having food and raiment, let us be therewith content, right? But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Right? So what we have to do, man, what we have to keep in mind is to be content, be thankful, continuously giving thanks to the Most High God for providing things that we have. Until you really realize, bro, every time you wake up in the morning, right, you have your eyes to see, you have your members to grab and to dwell and to get ready for work or to get ready for, your daily routines. All of these things are a luxury. We have to give thanks for these things, man. Let alone the things that we have as far as houses, cars, right? The amount in our bank accounts and things like that. Hey, you have breath in your body. You have the ability to understand this truth. That's a blessing in itself. Every time that we face the east and we pray to the Most High God, man, we have to give thanks unto the things that we often take for granted. We look past all of these things, man. Most High God could have woke us up and we didn't have the ability to see. Could have woke up blind. Hey, he could have killed you in your sleep, man. So let's back up and really acknowledge, all right, and give thanks and be content, right? Let's get an account, right? Let's get an account on covetousness, right? It's the book of Joshua, chapter 7 and verse 12. Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Right? So the Israelites, okay, in addition to, forefather Joshua, right, they were fighting the battle of Jericho. Okay. They went against the Amorites, right? And Amorites were few in number, right? simply 3,000 of us could take care of that, right? But the Most High God didn't. He took that valiant spirit. He wasn't with us in battle because there was a thing among it. There was a spirit of covetousness among us, right? Skipping down to 16, it says, "So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken, and he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, and son of Zabadi, the son of Zerah, for the tribe of Judah was taken." Right? So the Most High God says, "Hey, look, I won't be with you in battle. Gonna be unsuccessful. Why? Because there's a spirit among you. There's something accursed among you, right?" And Joshua rose up early in the morning and separated all of the tribes, right, of his army, all right, to see, you know, who was accursed. Like where's this spirit of covetousness with, right? Verse 19, skipping down. "And Joshua said unto Achan, right, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him." Right? So we've identified who it is. It's Achan. Achan had these possessions of the heathen. This was accursed, right? This is why we were unsuccessful, because of that spirit of covetousness, right? He had the forbidden possessions of the heathen, and he hid them, right? We're gonna see that later on in the account, right? It says, "And Achan answered Joshua and said, Salakia, I skipped up. I said, right, and make confession unto him, right, and tell me now what thou hast done." This is Joshua talking to Achan, right? "Hide it not from me." And Achan answered Joshua and said, "Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them." Right? So Achan took these possessions of the heathen, a garment, shekels of silver, shekels of gold. Hey, he coveted this and he hid it. This is what happens amongst us, right? That covetous spirit, right? Wanting what? The American dream, right? It says what? "And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent." So he buried them underneath his tent, and the silver under it. "So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord." Verse 25, skipping down. "And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day." And all Israel stoned him with stones and burned them with fire. Right? So they purged, they had to purge out this spirit of covetousness. Right? They had to burn these possessions and these forbidden, right, idols, okay, of the heathen nations, the Babylonian nation, right? They buried this and they burned it, right? And they stoned him, right? It says what? Stoned him with stones and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger before the time of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. So, hey, in summary, right? Achan desired the heathen's possessions. Okay. Covetousness defiled Joshua's army. Right. And when we read in the book of Mark, we see that a divided nation cannot stand. Right. And what divided this nation? Why weren't we successful? Right. When we battled the Amorites. Right. What took that valiant spirit? Right. It's us all not being on one accord. Right. And we caused the Most High God, we provoked the Most High to anger. And Joshua had to purge this spirit out of his army in order to be successful, right? So a lot of us say we want the kingdom, right? A lot of us say, death to the white man, death to the Hamite man, right? Death to the Moabite man, right? We're saying death to America and to all of these other nations, right? But we won't be successful in war against them, right? And we won't take the kingdom successfully until we are all on one accord, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And not coveting things that these other nations possess, right? So we can say all day long, when I get the kingdom, when I get the kingdom, I want the kingdom, I want the kingdom. But this is how we prove it. We prove our faith, right, in getting the kingdom and in the Most High God by not coveting the things of these other nations, right? So that's what we got to understand today. We got to understand that going forward, we cannot be covetous towards our neighbors' possessions in Israel, right? And toward these other nations and what they have in this world, right? Do you have any brothers got any other points? I yield there.
King, I'm gonna let me back off what both of y'all brothers was bringing up. Like I said, we have to be content with what the Most High has given us, right? Because at the end of the day, understand we are in the state that we're in because we sinned against the Most High. So trying to have your heaven here in this kingdom, that's blasphemy, first and foremost, right? We have to be content. The Most High is sustaining us. He promised that he wouldn't bring a full end to us. So what does that mean? He's going to give us those chief things for us to at least live. And at the end of the day, we have to be content with those things, right? While we're trying to return to the Most High and repent and keep his law, statutes, and commandments. We have to be content with the things that he's given us to just simply survive, right? But it's not so, right? Let's get the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. I'm starting verse number 7, right? It says, 2 things have I required of thee, deny them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Right? What's being said here, right? I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be that Jake living under a bridge in a cardboard box. Nor do I want to be. I'm gonna use Diddy because Aharon already brought his name out, right? I don't want to be either of those. Why? I want to live in that perfect balance, right? Why is that? Verse 9, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Most High? Who is Yahweh, right? I'm sure you bring this truth to Diddy and he gonna be like, who? Or at least I be poor and steal and take the name of thy God in vain. When you destitute, when you living in this low estate, when you're in poverty and oppressed, the way that we are in Esau's kingdom, right? We tend to go through those curses, that evil eye towards our brothers, right? We tend to steal from each other in order just to get by, right? So either way, those are 2 extremes. If we be exceedingly rich, like a Diddy, we giving up our bowels, like Aharon put, right? Or unless we be exceedingly poor, now we hitting licks on each other, right? We have to live in that balance, being content with what the Most High gave us, right? Verse 10, it says, accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee, and thou be found guilty. There is a generation that curseth their father, and doth not bless their mother. That sound like what we going through today, right? This is and it really started with our generation, but I'm older now, so I can say these kids, right? They don't care about the provision that their parents give them. They have to have the latest and greatest, lest they be quote unquote bullied at school, quote unquote, right? Verse 12, there is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet it is not washed from their filthiness. You see it all over the internet. Everybody wants to be able to claim that, for example, they can choose their own gender. It's one example, but it's an extreme one to show just how far we have gone away. We have gone astray from the mark that the Most High has set for us. Can't nobody tell us nothing, right? It was bad during the days when Kanye first dropped that song. How much worse is it today? Right? It says there is a generation. Oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. We see today, especially after all of this inflation, this rapid inflation that's been hitting us during the so-called Biden administration. I work in retail. When I tell you that people are really only looking out for themselves, they only care about themselves. They will sit there and argue with you about a price that you didn't set because they're worried about themselves, right? Aharon was bringing out the point masterfully. Like we should be alms giving because we've already been taken care of. But we have a generation of people that are all about themselves. The scriptures go into that, right? In those days, there'd be people that are lovers of themselves, keepers not at home, right? Key reading, right? Verse 15, the horse leech had two daughters crying, give, give. There are three things that are never satisfied. Yea, four things say not. It is enough. The grave and the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that saith not, it is enough. Right? All of these people are never satisfied. They're never satisfied. You can give them the sun, the moon, and the stars, and they still will not be satisfied. As Brother Kazak was bringing out, right? That's what is that? But the spirit of Esau. It's never satisfied. You can never have enough. This person can never be pleased. And we see that spirit running rampant through our people. Let's prove that real quick, right? This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse number 5, right? It says, yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? Who is that talking about? That's talking about Esau, right? That's that spirit of the damn devil. You can't be satisfied with what you are given. You have to have more. You have to have more. You have to have the latest and the greatest, right? It can't be, I have a woman at home that loves me and I can call her my own. I want that brother's woman because she fine. It can't be, I have a car that gets me from point A to point B and I'm good. No, I have to have that brother's car because it looks cool and it's fast. It can't be, I have a house that shelters me from the rain, the snow, the wind. No, I have to have that brother's house because he has a theater in that bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never enough. That's the spirit of Esau, right? And we can prove that. The book of Obadiah. There's only one chapter. So we start at verse number 3, right? The pride of thine heart. Mind you, the book of Obadiah is literally the Most High talking to Esau. We start at verse 3. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Esau, right? Whose habitation is high because they rule the world right now, right? That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It's pride, right? So-called proud boys. Some Proud Boys, right? That want Donald Trump to win. It's gonna be crazy to see what happens if Donald Trump don't win, right? He says, "Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle." Again, it's telling. That's very telling, right? "And thou set thy nest among the stars. Thence will I bring thee down, says the Most High. If thieves came to thee," and here's the point, "if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough?" If a thief breaking your house, he's not trying to take the whole damn house. He's trying to take a few things to get him paid to sustain him for a certain period of time. But not Esau. Esau wants the whole damn enchilada. Right? It says, "If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?" That's actually in the law, right? When you harvest your vineyards, don't take all of the damn corners and all of the damn, don't take every single thing. You have to leave something for the homeless, the needy, the widows. You have to leave something. Esau's not like that. Esau want everything. Esau want every crumb. That spirit is on our people heavy, and we have to do something about that, right? We have to return to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, right? Because the law, statutes, and commandments tells us what? The commandment of this week, Exodus 20 and 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbors, etc. Right? Real quick, go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse number 5, right? It says, "Let not your conversation be without," it says, "Let your conversation, Salakia, be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee." At the end of the day, the Most High has sustained us. He has given us what we need to survive, right? Going after things that are just excess, things that are just vanity, they profit us nothing, right? The Most High has given us what we need to survive in a kingdom that's here to try to kill us. Really take that in. This kingdom is here to kill us, and the Most High has given us what we needed just to survive it. So saying to the Most High that that's not enough, think about what type of spirit is on you right now. That's evil. That's wicked. You are taking on the spirit of Esau, who was cast out because he sold his birthright for a morsel of damn meat. We have to really think about these things, brothers and sisters. Like I can't stress it enough. We are the same people that had food rain from the sky freely and still had a problem with it. The Most High has given us what we need to sustain our lives. So as the brother Aharon was bringing out, we should be content with that, right? And the spirit that's opposite of Esau's says that we should be doing what? We should be almsgiving. We should be able to see that, hey, I got enough to live. Let me give to my brother who's lacking, right? Go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Because even in our camp, we have brothers that's hurting, right? What should we be doing? It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 8. We'll start at verse 12. It says, "For if there be first a willing mind, it is accepted according to that a man has, and not according to that he has not." Right? So that opposite spirit is saying, if you are willing, and you understand that you have this, that, and the third, the Most High has provided for you, right? That spirit is going to tell you what to do with what you have. Verse 13. For I mean not that other men be eased and ye be burdened, right? But by an equality, we have to, the Most High sees us as equals. We can't look at ourselves as higher than the next brother because we have certain things. We can't look at ourselves as lower than another brother because he has things and we don't. That covetous spirit has to be far away from our people, right? Verse 14, but by an equality, that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their want. That their abundance also may be a supply for your want, that there may be equality, right? As it is written, he hath had gathered much, had nothing over, and he that had gathered little hath no lack, right? We're supposed to be taking care of each other, not complaining when we have enough, saying that we need more. We should be understanding that we have those chief things for life. And if we see another brother lacking, whatever we have, we share with that brother or that sister to make sure that they're not lacking those chief things, so that we are all going through an exercise of survival in a rulership that wants us dead. That's the opposite. That's the opposite of being covetous. I'm not looking at my brother saying, "Oh, he got the 20-inch rims. I need that. Oh, he got a fine. I need that. Oh, he got a big house. I need that." No, no, no. It's saying, "Hey, I'm a brother that got the 20-inch rims. They got the nice crib. They got the fine whatever. They got exposable income. I see brothers that are going hungry, that are struggling to feed their family. I need to help them." That's the opposite of covetousness. And that's the spirit that the Most High wants his children in while we are in this captivity that seeks to destroy us, right? Let me see real quick. Get the book of Tobit. Chapter 12, verse number 9, right? It says, "For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life," right? So it always goes back to that law, right? Righteousness, keeping the law. And the law that we bringing out today is, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's this, that, and the third," right? Verse 10, "But they that sin, those that break that commandment," right? Those that break the commandments in general, are enemies to their own life. So if you're walking in that opposite spirit of almsgiving, which is covetousness, you are an enemy to your own life, meaning you are deserving of death, right? Like I say, I got one more precept just to kind of sew it all together. It's the book of Hebrews. I don't know if I brought this out already, but it has to be stated because this is like the underline. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 5. "Let your conversation be without covetousness." Let's not sit here and talk about what the next man has and how I wish I had that and how I want to be like so and so. I want to be like LeBron James. I want to have the same type of this, that, and the third as this person and that person. No. It says, "And be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee." Understand that the Most High God has given you what you need in order to serve him. And understand that serving him should be the end all be all. That's the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Fear God and keep his commandments. And with that, I yield.
Con, I might in the spirit. I'm just gonna bring out a few of them. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, and verse 10. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Delight not in a thing that is ungodly, having pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished to their grave. Right? So a lot of time, we looking at the things that other people have, envying them. The Lord say, envy not, the glory of a sinner. What's they in? Where they going? What's their judgment? What's their punishment? Are they going to the same place you going? Are they gonna get the kingdom? Right? Are they the part of the elect? Are they gonna go unpunished even in this lifetime? They might do. They might not. Right? Let me get Second Edges, chapter 9, just to drive that point home. The book of Second Edges, chapter 9, and verse number 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such in their life have received benefits and have not known me. And they have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open to them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. So it's people on this earth, it's not even in the truth. They don't even have the knowledge that you got. They don't understand who they are. They walking around calling themselves black, calling themselves African American, calling themselves all these bywords. They don't know who they are, what they must do to get the kingdom, right? They don't know who their God is, what the name of their God is, what their name is, and yet you're envying them, right? When they're slated probably for the lake of fire, lest they repent, right? When they're gonna die or wish for death, unless they repent, and you're envious, worried about the things that they have. It says they're gonna know death by pain, is what the Lord says, right? You shouldn't be looking at the things of this people in this truth that you envy and covet things from them instead of just being the best you can. You're supposed to be a part of the Lord's army. Everybody can't fly the jet. Everybody can't read the satellite images. Everybody can't drive the tank. Somebody got to shoot it. Somebody got to position it. Somebody got to load the ammo to shoot it. Right? Somebody got to watch out. Somebody got to be in communications. It's so many different things. You got to do whatever your duty is, whatever your job. If the Most High gave you a job to do, you do that to the best of your ability. You should be thinking, man, I work for the Lord, not I want this position from the Lord that this brother got. Just do what the Lord got you doing. You a part of his army. You working for him, doing the work. Just do what you got to do, man. Get to work. Put your hand to the plow and stop looking at the things that others got. Right? Just mind your business. In other words, just mind your business, man. Jake and E don't ever want to mind their business, man. Mind your business. Pay attention to you and yours. Right? In the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. You worried about what other people got, man. Those riches are not gonna save them. It's not gonna save you. You trying to come up and get this and gain that. And there's nothing wrong with having things, because whatever the Lord bless you with, it's for you. He blessed you with it. But these things are not what's gonna save us. These things that we covered after. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandment with faith in Christ is what's going to deliver us. Having a sincere spirit, walking in truth, walking with an upright spirit and a heart and a mind of integrity. That's what's going to save us, man. Trying to live after the Lord the correct way, right? Let me get, let me get this. James chapter 5. I wasn't going to get it, but I'm going to get it. James chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you, right? So the Lord said misery is going to come upon the rich man. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are mothing. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you. Slacking, my eyes watering. And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days, right? You worried about heaping your treasure together, right? You worried about your substance, right? And you ain't worried about your spirit. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cry it. The people you got working for you crying, man. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. He have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton, yeah, have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth and have long patience for it until he receive the early and later rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Right? Hey, be patient. You looking at the things that the rich got, they gonna get what they. It's harder for the rich to get into the kingdom than it is for what it is the eye of the needle. A camel to go through the eye of a needle, man. Right? Worry about what you got. The Lord will deliver you and increase you in His time, on His timing, not when you want it. You just do what you're supposed to do, right? The book of, let me get Matthew chapter 5 real quick. Matthew 5 and 42. These are the things you should be worried about instead of heaping up riches. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that will borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Don't turn your brother and your sister away when they need something, when they need to borrow something, or when they ask you for something. Don't turn them away, right? Let me get this. Deuteronomy chapter 15, right? It's like, oh, I'm already there. Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need and that which he wanted. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works. That's how you get a blessing, looking after the poor of your people. And in all that thou puttest thy hand unto, for the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in the land. Right? Look at the poor and the needy of your people, the fatherless, the widow. Look after them. Take care of them. Do the right things for them, right? Let me see this. Book of Proverbs, chapter 19, right? And verse 17. He that have pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he have given will he pay him again. So hey, even if your brother or sister don't pay you back, the Lord say, I'm gonna pay you back. That's his child. He gonna pay his child back. You looking out for the children of the Most High God. Why wouldn't the Father repay you? Make sure you good. Hey, appreciate you looking out for my boy. Hey, appreciate you for looking out for my daughter. That's what any good father would do. I'm gonna take care of you. Don't even worry about it. Here you go. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit in which we should have towards our people, man. You know what I'm saying? But with that, man, I'm a year. I hope y'all was edified. I hope y'all was blessed. I hope this, could help you refocus on the things that we have to do in these last days, on the spirit that we should have and how we should walk. You know what I mean? And I hope y'all was edified. These brothers do a mighty job. They mightier than me bringing out this word to y'all, man. So, hey, all praise to the Most High God, man. We unprofitable servants, you know. Y'all brothers got something else?
Hey, I got
Yeah,
one more.
okay.
One more
Brother got that
precept.
one more spirit.
So my bad, I'm
Nah,
slacking.
just play.
Just so our people can meditate on it, right? It's the book of Job. And we all know the story of Job, right? He was being tested by the Most High through the hand of Satan himself, right? This is the book of Job, chapter 1, and verse 21. You have to always keep this in mind, right? And say, wait, I'm gonna start at verse 20. But verse 21 is the point. So Job chapter 1 and verse 20. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiped and said, here's the point. Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. Right? That's the point. We always need to think about that. We came into this world with nothing. We're gonna leave this world with nothing. So there's no point in trying to accumulate everything because that everything is not gonna go with you.
That's
And with
right.
that, I yield.
That's right, Doc. That's mighty.
That's it, man. Hey, we love you, Israel. All right. Lord willing, somebody was edified or will be edified in the coming days. With that, we say shalom.
Come on.
Shalom.
Calm y'all,